Let's talk San Diego State Aztec football. Let's talk New Orleans Bowl. Here comes Louisiana Lafayette. Time to talk to the Aztecs. Yes, it is Coach's Day. This is Lee Hamilton. More phone calls in a couple of minutes. San Diego sports leader XX1090 Rocky Long joins us from the floor of the Louisiana Superdome as the Aztecs get ready to play Louisiana Lafayette. I can't imagine how neat this is and you took the entire roster. I was told 104, 105 kids. I can't imagine how neat it is for those kids to be in an NFL stadium like the Dome and then take part in all the different festivities around the bowl, Rocky. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. I mean, we brought our whole squad. That's exactly where everybody that's been with us all year, even the guys that don't play, scout team players, this is more of a reward for them probably than the guys that get to play all the time. But we're sitting here right in the Superdome right now. It's pretty impressive. I mean, I've never been in a place this big that was indoors, and hopefully we're getting used to the surface and used to the lights so that we can play well on Saturday.
Yeah, the surface is one thing. I would tend to think the monster size and the sight lines just make it a very different feel for the quarterback and the wide receivers. Am I correct in that, Rocky?
Yeah, I think it made it. I mean, we practiced for the first time today, and I think we had some trouble with that. And it might be the angles and all that, but the lights are a little bit different. It's obviously different than the sun, but the lights are kind of right on top of you, so the glare is a little bit different than it is in our stadium. So we got 2 more practices. Hopefully we'll settle in and feel comfortable here by Saturday.
Can you talk to me about the surface? I mean, is this fast track? Is this artificial surface and different than some of the other places you've been in?
It's a little bit older than practice field that we have, so it is faster because the rubber gets patted down and it gets to be a faster surface. The newer the field, the softer it is, and it's a little bit slower. Yeah, this is a fast track, and to be honest with you, after watching every game on film, I don't know who's the faster team. They've got great speed. I think we got good speed. Well, I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
Yeah, Rocky Long, head coach, talked to the Aztecs on the eve of this game on Saturday night against Louisiana Lafayette. They bit off an awful big-time schedule. I mean, they opened with Oklahoma State, and I know Oklahoma State put 65 on them, but they put points on the board, and then they nearly won at Arizona. This is not just some offensive school from the Sun Belt Conference, is it?
No, not at all. They were picked to be pretty poor at the start of the year, and they've gotten better and better and better. And like you said, Oklahoma State, they scored 37. They scored almost 40 against Arizona. They score on everybody. They've got talented players in the skill position. They've got 8 senior starters on defense. This is really, you might not have heard of them. Maybe like people didn't hear of San Diego State last year when we were on our run. This is their first bowl game in 41 years. It's going to be a home game for them. They got all the advantages. We just got to be ready for the onslaught.
Yeah, well, you've played in hostile environments. They're talking 35,000 now for the game, which would be an all-time record, Rocky. But, I mean, that's different than being 105,000 Ann Arbor Stadium against Michigan or being at Notre Dame.
Well, I think 105 is, yeah, obviously 105 is a lot more than 35, but and they'll all be for them, just like the one you said, they were all for the team we were playing, and that's the way it'll be here, and I think that we're up for it.
They're running kind of a pseudo spread formation. I don't know if it's Wyoming spread or if it's Utah shotgun spread. What's it like?
It's very similar to Wyoming, and we really struggled against Wyoming in the first half. Very similar to that. They do a little bit of pro stuff where they got 2 backs in the backfield, fullback, tailback, tight end. They do a little tight end stuff, but probably 85 to 90% of the time they're in the spread, and the spread's really very similar to what Wyoming does.
Rocky Long with us, talk to the Aztecs going towards this Saturday night bowl game, New Orleans Bowl there in the Dome. Rocky, talk to me, if you will, about their quarterback, Blaine Gauthier. He's put up some really good numbers. I mean, he didn't start the season, so in essence he threw for about 2,500 yards in only 7 games. Is he a throw-first, run as an afterthought quarterback?
He's multi-talented now. The best thing he does throwing the ball is he's left-handed. He's very accurate with the ball. He puts it on their hands. He can throw it in small windows. He has confidence in the throws, and he's got a big tight end. Reminds me of Gavin Escobar that can get open and catches everything close, so he's got a safety valve. But then again, he's a good enough athlete to run the zone read and the zone read keep. I think, most quarterbacks, and I think he does, I think he'd rather throw it than run it, but he can run it if he has to.
Is there a difference facing a left-handed quarterback than a normal right-handed thrower?
I think it is for catching the flight of the ball. I don't think it makes any difference to the DBs. They should be in the same spots, and they should be covering the guys the same way. but the ball spins different, and I think it looks different coming out of a left-hander. So catching the fly to the ball and actually catching the ball could be a problem.
Rocky, in terms of defense, do you spy a quarterback like this? Does that have to become part of the mix?
I don't think so. If you were playing Tim Tebow, you'd spy him for sure because he doesn't throw it very well. And this guy really throws it well. So you can't waste a pass rusher. You can't waste a guy in coverage by spying him. And you just got, when he wants to run with the ball, you've got to rally to him and try to take away the throws.
So what kind of confusion do you create? Because their coach, Mark Hedspeth, said he'd never seen anything like the junk you're running, the 3-3-5. So how do you create this type of confusion for a quarterback that's never seen it and didn't have a lot of time to practice against it?
Well, I hope they are confused. I think that he's probably blowing smoke because most coaches at bowl games blow smoke. But I'm sure they understand the scheme, and I'm sure they've got a good way to attack it. We've played people that run what they have. They can see it on film. They can develop a game plan. Now, I hope you're right. I hope what we do confuses them, and they're hunting for answers, but I would bet that's not true.
They are giving up $394 per game. You can move on them. Maybe that's a byproduct of playing Oklahoma State and Arizona.
Well, I do think that our offense has the ability to move the ball and score some points. It'll probably be one of those bowl games everybody likes to watch because it'll be who scores less. Ronnie
Hillman, completely healthy. Is everybody else healthy for this thing?
Well, nobody's really healthy, but they're all ready to play like they played probably the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we had a lot of guys played partially injured, and they're going to play again one more time.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Well-deserved for these kids, and obviously an honor for what you did and what Brady Hoke did. I mean, you wind up with 18 wins over 2 years and go to 2 bowl games. That's a hell of an accomplishment compared to where the program was. You got to feel really good about growth.
I feel really good for the seniors. We got 21 seniors. I feel really good for them because they've experienced success the last 2 years. And I agree. I think our program's moving in the right direction. I think if we can continue to evaluate and recruit, it'll get nothing but better.
Sidebar question, Rocky. Is it unique and different for these kids also to have the cultural experience of not just being in the Dome where Drew Brees and the Saints play, but going down to the Fifth Ward and seeing Katrina and seeing the resurrection of that city?
Well, I think it's completely different. We've had a lot of guys that haven't been out of California. We sure have a lot of guys that have never been to New Orleans. And we are taking a tour tomorrow, a bus tour tomorrow to see New Orleans itself. And I think it's great education for them, and I think it's something they'll remember forever.
Well, thumbs up. I appreciate the time out of a hectic schedule. Good luck. We'll watch it. We'll talk to you when you get back, sir.
I appreciate you having me. Thanks a lot.
Rocky Long, head coach, talk to the Aztecs. Bring on Louisiana Lafayette.